Today's video is all about the recoil control skill within Escape from Tarkov. It's quite common for people to overlook skills like these when looking to reduce their recoil, and purely look for weapon recoil and weapon ergonomic stats when modding. This video will be showing why I think it's absolutely vital to speed level this skill whenever you can. The video will be split into two parts before I give my conclusion at the end of the skill as a whole. The first part I'll be showing the difference between the recoil at level 0 compared to the recoil control skill at level 51, which is the max level of this skill. Now to compare, I've used a wide range of weapons. I chose the stock variant of each of the weapons as well as the weapon modified to the best recoil stat I could do. This will give an end-to-end spectrum of what each weapon is like, and I'll be mag dumping each weapon into a wall at a relative distance and then comparing each of the impact points for each bullet. I've chosen 4 weapons for this video. One of them is the AK-74N because it is the most common weapon used in EFT, and then I've chose the AK-74's bigger brother and picked the AK-MN, and then I've gone for the M4A1 because it is a high powered common AK alternative, and then finally I've chosen the FAL. The FAL is a very high powered weapon but is known for its high recoil. I started with the stock AK-74N, and you can see from the spray of the weapon that the recoil is much more controlled when you have the recoil control stat leveled to max. But take a closer look at the impact points and you can see that the horizontal recoil has reduced greatly and the vertical recoil is much more structured, making the recoil pattern very manageable in a real raid situation. Then I moved to a modified version of the AK-74N with the lowest recoil stat possible. The spray pattern for both level 0 and max level of the recoil control stat look very easy to control, however you can see a lot more when taking a look at the impact points of the bullets. The recoil for both horizontal and vertical has been visually reduced to the point that is just a small circular impact point on the max level recoil control. This will allow you to get the most shots on target without even moving your mouse too much to control the recoil spray. The AK-MN is a weapon with much more kick than the AK-74, meaning you can notice the recoil difference a lot easier when comparing the level 0 recoil control skill to the max level recoil control skill. With the spray on both sides of the spectrum, you can see the weapon does have quite a large amount of kick with the stock variant. However, taking a look at the impact points, you can see both horizontal and vertical recoil on max level recoil control skill has been reduced once again, so it is going to be more controllable in raid. With the modified AK-MN, you can definitely tell a difference between the two sides also. Looking at the spray on the side of level 0 recoil control, you can see the weapon is bouncing around a little when firing. However, as max level recoil control, you can see that the weapon is basically still with no visible recoil. The impact points show similar as well. The impact points with max level recoil control skill are reduced to a small circle, whereas having 0 recoil control skill, you can see that the bullet impact a lot higher and a lot wider, meaning it is less accurate when taking out targets from a distance. I chose the stock M4 because it is a complete alternative to the AK family. You can see a lot less horizontal recoil in the spray of this weapon, which also reflects in the impact points when looking at the recoil control difference. You can see that having max recoil control, you get less horizontal recoil, and the vertical recoil is forming a small vertical line of impact, with the majority of the bullets impacting in the middle of the spray. This modified M4 gives you the lowest recoil but does look rather weird. It is definitely effective though. Both sides, both 0 recoil control skill and max level recoil control skill, give you very low recoil in the spray, but if you inspect the impact points closely, it's shocking how different the sprays are. With 0 recoil control you can see a much larger point of impact, but with max level recoil control you can see that most of the impact points are hitting in directly the same place, meaning you could be very pinpoint accurate with this weapon even at long range. And lastly we have the FAL. It's known for its harsh recoil and high power, and you can definitely see this when using the stock variant. During the spray of the weapon you can see a lot less vertical kick when using max level recoil control, and if you take a look at the impact points you can see that the recoil is drastically reduced. With 0 recoil control you can see the bullets are impacting absolutely everywhere, and some not even registering at all. However, with max recoil control skill you can see that the horizontal recoil has been greatly reduced and impact itself is in a lot smaller surface area. When modifying this weapon, the difference in recoil gets a little crazy. When firing the weapon, you can see that max level recoil control skill, the weapon doesn't even jolt when firing at full auto. Inspecting the recoil pattern, it also backs this up. The impact points when having 0 recoil control skill is much more structured than the stock variant, but still rather high. But when you have a max recoil control skill, the impact point is so small that it's smaller than the impact of a fully modded MPX or the M4 that you saw earlier. This makes this weapon an absolute laser at any ranged combat, and it, combined with the power of the rounds it fires, it's an absolute monster in PvP. Now, you level your recoil control skill by just simply firing your weapon. You go into a raid with a rig and a backpack full of mags and you just shoot them all. All weapons will give you skill points per shot fired, however they all give you a certain amount. For example, the SA58 FAL gives you the highest skill point per shot, but the cost of ammo and the weapons are much too high to consider this a viable option to use. For example, leveling the recoil control skill from 0 to max level using the SA58 will cost you about 11 million rubles just in ammo. There are a couple of weapons that I would use. They're mainly pistols though, so for example I'd use a Glock 18, which will allow you to fire 50 round Glock mags rather quickly, and 9mm ammo is quite cheap, and it still gives a relatively high skill point per shot. It would require 1,454 full 50 round mags to be fired and emptied to get from level 0 to max level recoil control using a Glock 18. So the main weapon that I would recommend using is the PB pistol. My reasons for this are that it's a silent option, meaning that you're less likely to draw attention to yourself when sitting in the corner shooting your load everywhere, and the ammo is very cheap also. You can load up to 84 round drum mags into the PB, and this will allow you to shoot a larger load when you're dumping your mags all over the place. To get from level 0 recoil control skill to max level, you'll need to fire 775 84 round drum mags, and it'll cost you about 717,000 rubles. This is the cheapest and quickest option for leveling the skill without doing it naturally when playing. Overall, I think this is a must do if you're struggling to control your weapons in Escape from Tarkov, and it'll give you a much better combat advantage. However, I think the skill needs to be addressed from the point of view of Battlestate Games. The skill at max level makes any low recoil modified weapon into an absolute laser. And I personally don't think that the SA58 FAL should have a lower recoil spread than a fully modded MPX due to its pure size and caliber. If Battlestate doesn't change the amount of recoil that it reduces on the skill alone, at least make it more difficult for the skill to be leveled. Many people, especially those with a lot of money, will not mind spending 717,000 rubles on ammo to level this up to max from 0 at the start of a wipe and have a clear combat advantage over anyone else for a long period of time. However, I thought I'd share this video anyway because the pure fact that if you're wondering why you're running against people that seem to be always so accurate, or you see streamers that basically don't have any recoil, this is why. This is why. And anyone can get there. It's not like you're abusing a glitch or anything. It's a feature as of now, and it's crazy. It's crazy how good it can make anyone's aim. If you enjoyed this video, then let me know by giving this video a thumbs up and subscribing to stay up to date with your latest Tarkov fix. I'd also like to thank a member of my Discord, Hardcode, for providing a lot of this information, and all the clips that you saw comparing the recoil was done by him. Speaking of Discord, feel free to join it. There's a link in the description where you can join up to 2,000 people playing Tarkov, where you can find friends and teammates and all that stuff. There's also other important links down in the description as well. Thank you so much for watching till the end, everyone. Have a lovely evening. Kisses, toodaloo, cheerio. I'd like to thank you all for staying to the end of this video, but before I end it, I'd like to tell you something about Shadow. Shadow is a company that I'm working with to promote max gaming PC settings anywhere you are. Shadow is a cloud-based subscription service which allows you to subscribe $30 a month and you can play any games max settings anywhere you are, which means you can have a broken up PC, a shitty laptop or a Mac, and you can still play games like Tarkov in max settings, 1440p 60 FPS, and this is actually how I record all my gameplay and stream Tarkov at this point in time. So if you liked how the game looked in this video, then check out the description and it'll take you to Shadow's website. You can do more research there, and if you do decide to sign up using the code SAM10, you'll get $10 off your first month. Thank you so much everyone. Toodle pip, cheerio, enjoy your evening.